What's up, everybody? How you doing? Welcome back to Horror Hangout. I've got a very special guest with me today. If you can't see him on the screen already, Mr. David Howard Thornton, also known as Art the Clown from my favorite movie, Terrifier. And so, yeah, my very first actual guest of the show. So it's an honor to have you back, man. I'm so excited to talk to you, David.
Thanks, man. Glad to be back.
Absolutely, dude. This is great, man. It's cool how much stuff's changed in a little while. We talked like what, maybe like 18 months ago, like right at the beginning of COVID. But yeah, so I have actually gone to full-time YouTubing, and I have a whole other kid. So like,
Wow.
yeah. We have a little boy now, a third and final little boy, and
Nice.
so yeah, man, things have gotten I like it, man. It's still a work in progress, but man, I'm happy, man, and I'm happy to see you all over the place. I keep tabs on things, man, and it's really cool to see you getting some recognition, and Damien getting some recognition that I think is well deserved.
Thank you, man. Thank you. It's just
Absolutely.
I think the pandemic kind of helped us in some ways because everybody was stuck at home, so they needed
Right.
stuff to watch. So Terrifier was right there for them. So hey, it's been growing.
Yeah.
I can't complain.
How's that been? How's it been going to all the cons? Because I mean, you're like popping up everywhere. I mean, you're at all the small cons, and I've seen you at some really big ones too.
Yeah, it's been busy. I just got back from a Mad Monster Party in North Carolina this weekend. So yeah, it was fun. It was fun. Yeah, it was a very good con. So I can't complain at all. It's nice being back out there on the road again and everything like that. Because that 1 year, especially when we weren't doing conventions, that sucked. I felt like I was just cooped up inside all the time.
Right.
Oh my God, I missed it so much. It's so much more fun being out on the road.
I mean, we're still rebounding from all this stuff. Everybody's starting to get back, and it's like we forgot how much fun it was to be out in public and just be able to be out with your friends and people you don't know yet, and meeting new people. Because I just started going back to like music shows, like punk rock shows. Haven't been out in a long time. I started going out and taking my camera with me there because since I'm doing this full time now, I can kind of do whatever I want as long as I create content and bring stuff to the table people are interested in. Then I can. So I started going back out. Man, I forgot how much fun it was to just be around a big group of people, like-minded, people that have stuff in common.
Yeah, it's great. I definitely don't complain.
yeah, that's awesome, man. Well, I'm super happy for you guys. How is T2 coming along? I haven't heard much news on it. I Google it every couple of weeks. I don't see much changing. I guess it's probably at a standstill point where you're just waiting on something or something.
Yeah,
like
pretty
that.
much. I think I mean it's Damien just finished editing it and everything like that, so he's about to start shopping around for distribution, I think, in the next week or so.
That's what I was wondering. I had thought for some reason the editing had been done already, so I guess so now he's just recently finished up on that. Okay.
Yeah, that was about a year-long process, editing everything. It's a huge film, and it's just Damien editing it. So he was doing that basic edits, but he was also doing all the color. Oh, we had someone coming in for color correction.
Sure.
But he was doing all the video effects and audio effects and all that kind of stuff
too.
I'm
so excited, bro.
Oh, it's huge. It's a beast of a film. It's just over 2 hours long, which is unheard of for a slasher. That's crazy. You don't get slashers that are that long.
I mean, I as a general rule of thumb try to keep my movies to 90 minutes. I mean, I don't really care if it's something I like. I'll watch a 4-hour movie if it's something I'm interested in. But due to the fact that I've got kids and another business, I try to but I mean, I'm just so excited. I've been waiting for a while, and I'm trying to keep my expectations tempered because that's how you get yourself into trouble. Is you make something seem more grand than it was ever going to be, anyways. So I'm just like, all right, calm down, just let it come out, watch it, enjoy it, because as I told you in the messages, I'm turning 40 in a couple of weeks, and we're about to hit 20,000 subscribers, and so I mean, I'm hitting some landmarks too, and I'm just like, this year is such a big year for me as a just a person, man. I have so much going on this year that I'm excited about, and at the very top of that list is this movie. I'm hoping it comes out this year. So.
Oh yeah, that's our plan. Is to get it out by Halloween latest. So if it comes out before then, that's even better. But we're planning for Halloween, which is perfect time to release it anyway. Since
it's a great time to release
Halloween. So
anytime in October. Maybe even September, but September, October is probably like the biggest bang for your buck time to release a movie like that.
Definitely. And we released the first film in like March. So
what
just goes to show.
Strange time to release a movie. You know what though? I mean, Scream came out in January, and I was so scared that I was like going to get just this dud of a movie, because notoriously they try to drop stuff they're not really too worried about early in the year, and I was like, oh no. And we got that, and then Texas Chainsaw came out, and I was like, man, that's in February, and I liked both of them, so I was really happy, man. I was really happy.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a good year for all that kind of stuff.
I agree. They got Hellraiser coming soon. They've got there's another one coming out that's like a big one.
Halloween, of course.
But, Halloween ends. I think that's next year though, right?
Yeah. No,
maybe.
This year.
I don't remember. Oh, is it this year? Damn, I'm tripping.
Yeah, they also got, I think, another Jeepers Creepers coming out this year. And
man, I'm on the fence about that, because I liked the first one. Didn't really care for the second one.
Oh, so the third one was. Did you see the third one?
I didn't even know there was a third one, to be honest
with you. Yeah, don't even bother.
That's awesome.
It's just
awesome.
No.
I went and saw The Cursed today, and I'm supposed to do a review on that one. I don't really know how I feel about it. I guess I'll just I don't want to just shit on somebody. I'm not gonna, but it was.
I understand.
It wasn't as good as I thought it was gonna be, to put it bluntly. But
that's what I've noticed a lot with a lot of the movies that are coming out. Not just horror films, but just so many movies in general. Oh my God! Like Damien and I have been talking about, especially with comedies. There hasn't been a good comedy released in I don't know how long.
We were just talking about that, and my store's changed. I got like a little bitty place now. It's only open on the weekends, but all I sell is movies and vinyl. And so we were just up there talking about how like comedy movies are all but dead. Like, if they try to release Superbad right now, like there's no chance that would come out. Like, there's so many
that American Pie, Blazing Saddles, any of that kind of stuff.
Yeah, there's generations. We can go back 6 or 7 generations, and there's movies that just there's no way, man. There's no way, because people just simply can't take a joke anymore. They don't have it in their bones to take a joke, which is it's unfortunate. It is what it is, though, I guess.
Oh, it is. It's so sad. It's so sad. It's killed comedy, and I hate it. It just
it's putting a damper on freedom of speech as well.
It makes me so sad, because offending people and stuff like that now, instead of just letting the art speak for itself. And that was the whole point of comedy, was just like, especially films like Blazing Saddles. You're supposed to be laughing at things. You should political commentary.
A lot of it, you're supposed to offend people, unless that's it broke up a little bit. So if that's what you just said, my apologies. You're supposed to offend folks, man. It's okay. It's kind of gets you. It kind of loosens you up, man. If you have a hard work week and you can go and get somebody to poke fun at you, and you can be like, okay, now you can laugh at your own situation. I don't see the harm in that, man. People, I watched a clip. I don't remember the comedian's name. I watch a lot of that stuff just kind of in my ear while I'm doing other things. And I saw a guy make a joke about epilepsy, and this lady stood up in the crowd and was pissed off. And she's like, I got a sister that's or something. I don't remember who it was, a relative that's had. And he said, yeah, my kid's got epilepsy.
Yeah.
And it shut her up real quick. But I was like, even if you do have somebody that's got epilepsy in your family, who cares? It's not like he singled your person out. He just said, yada, yada, yada. You know, like, take it easy, man. Chill.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, that's how it is in my family. I'm like, we have epilepsy in my family. My dad, my sister, I had 3 grand mal seizures when I turned 16.
Really?
My sister is mentally, physically handicapped. I have a deaf aunt. My mom was blind in one eye. There's so many different disabilities and stuff like that in my family. But instead of just getting upset about stuff, we make jokes about it. That's how we deal with it. We make jokes of the bad situations. And it's like, you're not making fun of the person. You're making fun of the situation that it puts you in. And that's the difference there. It's not making fun to be mean to someone. There's a difference there. And I think that's what people forget.
Well, if you look at a lot of comedy, it comes from poverty, it comes from pain, it comes from addiction, places like that where it's a dark place. And so the only way you can get out of that darkness is to light it up. And how do you light stuff up? You laugh.
Exactly. I mean, originally, the original comedians, were like the court jesters. They were the truth tellers. Yeah. They were the ones that could say whatever they wanted to and tell the truth about the situation in a humorous way and not worry about being killed. For speaking out.
Yeah. How crazy is that, man?
Yeah.
You know what's funny is that I feel like I feel horror movies are kind of the same way. Because if you're taking a horror movie like ultra seriously, unless you're looking at like an A24 type film where it was meant to be not only a horror film but a piece of serious artwork, look, there's a place for that too. But the movies I watch usually, I'm like, why would you take this super seriously? Like, Art the Clown doesn't exist in real life. Like, why are you tripping, man? Like, did you enjoy it? Was it fun for you? Did you get a laugh out of it, or did you get to go, oh shit? Like, if that's the case, then it was a success. Otherwise, maybe horror as a whole isn't for some people, and they just, they feel left out and they want to complain. It's like, wow, man, just like I don't watch anything that's like Disney. Just don't like it. It's not for me. I don't get mad and feel left out and then complain and want them to change their format for me. That's silly.
Exactly. And I think that's what's been killing the horror industry as well, not just the comedy industry, but the horror industry. People are too worried about offending people, so they've pulled back on so much. It's just like that's what I kind of enjoyed about the new Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Is like, plot, and there were some things there like the continuity and stuff like that I had issues with, but but I enjoyed the gore. And I enjoyed they actually showed the kills happening and weren't cutting away and stuff like that. And there's some gnarly kills in there. And I was like, thank you. I'm
going to go check out Studio 666 tomorrow. I'm looking forward to that one. You know what's cool? I just kind of accidentally did it. There was an empty theater. You know how when you buy a ticket, it's like pick out your seat. So it was like, it showed me the thing and it's like, pick out your seat. And I just hit the middle one. Boom, middle. I got my ticket and it was like, you got theater 6, row 6, seat 6, complete random. Let's go.
Oh my god. Well, watch you like it be you and one other person, and the other person has their seat right next to you.
Oh, it's gonna be like
always
that.
happen. I've been at so many times where I'm like, I'm just like one of the only few people in this theater, and of course the other person that comes in has to get their seat right next to me. I'm like,
always, man. I'll get up and walk 3 rows back and sit by myself, and I have no problem with that. Are you
especially
able
during the pandemic?
Right, no, for sure. Have you been able to keep up with what's going on in the scene? Like, have you been able to keep up with the movies and things? I know you're really busy, so I wasn't sure how that worked out for you.
Oh yeah, I got a lot of downtime in between conventions and stuff like that, right?
Yeah, so that's cool.
Yeah, I'm waiting to go back and film my last scene for stream. So I've had a lot of free time, especially these past few months. So I've been trying to keep up with everything.
You said Stream. There's a movie that you're doing called Stream, right? I was going to ask you. I thought have you been working on that for a long time?
About a year now. Yeah.
I think you told me that was coming up, or maybe it was like something on the like. It's been a while since we talked, but I feel like when you said that, it was something I was familiar with.
Yeah, I think before when we last talked, I had just recently found out about that I was going to be doing it and stuff like that. We started filming it like about this time last year we were filming.
Okay.
And then we've been on a break for about 6-7 months right now because I think they were trying to raise a little bit more money with the Indiegogo campaign because they want to put an extra kill scene in there or something like that.
Oh, nice.
Plus, there's other family business stuff going on with like Mike Levy's about to have a baby and stuff like that. So there's a few distractions.
Some stuff.
yeah. Unfortunately, because I'm like, I have one more scene to film, and it's a very, very simple scene to film too. So I'm like, when are we gonna finish this thing? Come on.
That's got to be frustrating. Yet at the same time, when you're done, it's going to be very rewarding. So there's a yin and a yang to that one. But like, that's cool, man. I'm really happy to see you doing a bunch of stuff, man. I feel so lucky, to be honest, that you jumped on to begin with the first time. So like, you got a forever fan, just like Josh Rubin. I don't know if you know him or not, but he's one of the other guys that gave me some time, and I just thought, man, these dudes will never ever hair like I'm a forever fan, man. It's awesome to see you guys doing the things that you want, because whenever we spoke the first time, but you and I and him and I, everything was much lower level. We're like, we're hoping we can do this one day. And it looks like everybody that I'm talking with or seeing, and the people I'm friendly with, it's a lot of success going around. It's pretty neat, man.
That's good. That's really good.
So I gotta ask, man, what's it like to see action figures with your likeness?
Like that was like a lifelong dream of mine since I was younger. I always wanted an action figure of myself, of some character I played or something like that. Because I'm a huge geek myself, so I was like, oh, that would be so cool to have my own figure one day. So That's been pretty cool. I signed a whole lot of those at the convention this weekend too.
Yeah.
Which is
were they
really
all the
cool.
like the big 12-inch ones, or they were the smaller ones?
Yeah. Yeah, they haven't. Yeah, I signed like one or two of the smaller ones that have been released by knuckleheads, or twisted guys. But I would say like most of them I signed were like the big 12-inch figures. So it's that and the mask you had right behind me. I was selling a lot of those.
That my boy Chris got me that, dude. That's one of my favorite things ever. You see, I got 2 copies of it on VHS from Broke.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I've got an ridiculous amount of stuff. I'm actually working on. Hold on, check this out. So I do a lot of stuff just for. I make a lot of art these days because I'm just trying to broaden my horizons. And I'm working on my second shadow box. I don't know if you can see it, but
that looks awesome.
Yeah, when I'm done with it, I'll send you some photos, man. If I can make another one, I'll send you one if you want. It's
thank you.
Yeah, for sure, man. I gotta it's tough because you got to do it by hand, and they end up. But I made one, and I really didn't want to sell it, so I priced it at a price point that I thought was a little high. And I put it in my shop, and boom, it was gone. I was like, oh, wow. Well, I was like, well, shit. All right, I guess I'll make another one. So that's what I was doing, was making a second one. So I just do it really. If it was about the money, I would have stacks of them around, so I can make the time. I just like doing it. So but yeah, I got a lot of cool stuff from the movie, man. It really is like my favorite flick, man. I watched that and scream more than anything else, dude. It's really cool, man. I would love to talk to Damien one of these days if he ever has. I have no idea what kind of free time that guy's ever gonna have.
Oh yeah, he's probably gonna have a little bit more free time once we get this thing in the hands of distribution and stuff like that. Then he can finally breathe a sigh of relief. He's been busy for the past 2-3 years. So
well, this is a pretty in-demand film. People are really like frothing at the mouth to get this one. They want it bad.
Oh man, it's the hype is real. It's like these conventions, like I would say almost every single person that comes up for an autograph asks me when it's coming out. Like we actually took a tally when I was there at Days of the Dead in Chicago, just as a joke, and I think we didn't even get near that as many because we would forget to take the tally marks, but we had over 100 tally marks on there
just in one day
weekend. Yeah, just in one day. It was like, holy crap.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of people after this one, man. As soon as it's got a physical release, like I'm going to personally I guarantee you I will purchase probably between 15 and 20 copies of whatever physical release come out, because I'm going to want, like, if they have a special VHS one, I'm going to want that. And then I'm also going to want to have them for people that come in my store, because every time I hear somebody says, hey, you have a horror movie that I maybe haven't seen yet, the first question I say is, have you seen Terrifier? Yeah. I'd say, like, honestly, it's a much larger number than I would have thought. It's usually like 2 out of every 3 are like, yeah, I've seen it. Or they'll say, I've seen part of it, but but nobody's ever, rarely do I hear, I've never heard of it. It's usually like, so I've been able to get a lot of copies of it in the hands of people. That's not really, Thank you. Dude, it's awesome, man. It's
Thank you.
Oh man.
It's all word of mouth. It's that's what's so crazy about this is, like, we still don't get mentioned by like mainstream entertainment publications like Vanity Fair, IGN, and stuff like that, because we're not one of those big studio projects that pays for all that kind of publicity and stuff like that. So this is all word of the mouth by fans.
Dude, even paying for that though, like how much would it cost to get them to talk about a movie like this?
Oh, I don't know.
Because we're talking like people that care about Tom Cruise, man, which is cool, but like, I like Tom Cruise, I guess. Like, I'm not. I do like Tom Cruise, but like, I want to know about like movies that aren't on marquees, so that I can learn about. I'm a movie fan of before anything else. I just want to know about all the movies that are out, and so
especially now, since there's so much streaming stuff out there now, so you don't. So it's just like there's so much stuff. So it's like, I think one thing that might help us is just the controversy of the subject matter and stuff like that, because controversy always sells, and this I know part 2 definitely has some controversial scenes in it that's going to get people talking.
I think that's actually a really good point, is that if you're Damien, if you're in his shoes and you have a decision to make, like, should I lean harder into this, or should I tame it back a little bit so that I can get easier distribution or whatever, or I can get easier financing on a next project, whatever that may be. I think it might end up being smarter to lean into the controversy and get, I mean, ultimately, are people that don't like horror movies going to watch it? No. So it doesn't matter how angry they get.
Yeah.
But if people that like horror movies don't hear about it, how are they going to watch it? So make it blow up, do something wild, and make everybody talk about it. And then everybody that was going to watch it, if they heard about it, will hear about it. It's going to, exactly. It's a wise move that way, I think.
Yeah. And I think that's what helped us with the first one, just because the hacksaw thing, that's what everybody talked about. And it just like, people was like, oh my God, this scene. I was like, and that's the thing. It's like, well, like, let's keep that kind of controversial subject matter going on. And that's what we fully intend to do for part 2.
That's amazing. I can't wait to see what's going on in that movie. I'm having to like hold myself back from bugging you about it. So this girl came in and was talking to her, I guess it was like her aunt. It was like there was an age difference of probably like almost 20 years. And she's like, we're talking about the movie, and she's like, yeah, it's the one with the hacksaw. And her aunt's like, what? And she's like, you know, the vagina first one. And then she's like, oh, that one. And I was like, dude, everybody knows that scene. So the lady hadn't actually seen the movie before. I literally gave her a copy. I was like, yo, go home and watch this. If you hate it, you can bring it back. I'll take it back, put it on the shelf. If you like it, you can keep it. And she was like, awesome. So we'll find. That was actually last weekend. So, but yeah, man, everybody knows about that scene. That was a wise move, and it's just a cool scene. It's almost at this point kind of iconic, you know.
Yeah, that's because we're just trying to harken back to the films that came out before us, like decades ago. It's because you don't have those kind of scenes, or if you do, they're so heavily CG'd.
Yes. Oh, so okay, that's one thing I had a problem with.
It's like no one does it with like the practical effects anymore. That's way too much CG.
Well, man, I don't know. So the movie's a period piece, right? And so, in my opinion, when I see a period piece, it's gotta have practical effects. It just looks weird to see something from 1905 with like a computer generated image of any kind. It just looks weird. And so they had stuff that I was like, but I would like to watch it one more time. I like to give everything a second chance, but man, the practical effects is the way to go, especially now because it's come full circle, man. Practical effects are what people want these days.
So, especially if you can do it with practical effects, do it with
if you can do it, do it. If you can't,
effects. You know. There's some, unfortunately, we have to use we've had to use a little bit of CG here or there in part 2, but it's for things that we just couldn't do practically. It's just there's no way we could have done that practically. So, but the way they've done it it looks good. It doesn't look like really cheap, crappy practical effects, like, you know, crappy blood splatters. Oh, I hate. That's the one thing that always gets me is when they do blood splatters with CG.
I won't even finish a movie if it's got that. It's hard for me to even comprehend why somebody would do that.
It's lazy.
It's very
lazy.
Very.
Because you can always do that easily with real, you know, not real blood, but you know, the
some kind of physical matter.
Yeah, and it's always going to look better. It's always going to look better because it's tangible.
Even a bright red paint would look better than fake blood. Than CG blood.
Yeah, especially when it's like, you know, like this pulling on someone's chest or something like that when they've gotten stabbed or shot, or
right.
Because it's like, oh, they just don't want to, you know, do multiple takes with different shirts and stuff like that.
Stupid.
So it's just like, but it's gonna look better. It just like it's gonna pool the way it should pool, and it's like it just never looks natural when it's done like that.
So I won't talk about this much, but I just wanted to tell you this just because I'm really happy. I've been writing a short film, and so it looks like I've got some people that are gonna use. They're gonna like not let me use. They're gonna actually do it. They're gonna film it for me. I got a buddy that's gonna do like the most of the directing. I'm actually physically writing all of it right now. I'm pretty excited, man. It's a little short film, man. I can't wait to get this thing done, man.
That's awesome.
I've been thinking about it for a long time, and I finally just was like, you know what? And it's gonna be a little horror film, a little 15-minute thing, and then we're gonna see if I can make it something bigger eventually one day.
Cool.
I have no expectations other than I just like to have it and be like, look what I made. It's gonna be cool.
I mean, that's what Damien started off doing,
right?
And, you know, look what happened. It's just like that's.
Actually, that's exactly right, huh? He started out with some small, short film projects, and then
that's basically what All Hallows Eve is a bunch of short films that they just cobbled together into a feature-length film anthology. So
I like anthology movies too. That one, I've watched that one a couple of times, like in the past year. It's a pretty good movie, man. I like it a lot. That wasn't you, right? That was somebody else doing that.
No, that was Mike Gianelli.
It's obvious that it's not the same person. I've seen both of them quite a few times at this point, so it'd be kind of, if you haven't seen either of them, you might not be able to tell. The makeup's really good in both. But here's a question I have for you. If you, and you've probably been asked this 1,000 times. My apologies if you have. If you could have any character from another franchise come in, or you could visit their franchise, do you have a preference? Like, do you ever daydream about this stuff? Because I do.
I thought it was when I saw Willy's Wonderland last year. I commented it would have been so funny to see Art go up against Nicolas Cage's character in that, because they're both silent.
That is actually amazing. What a great answer, because Nicolas Cage is my favorite actor, so I'm on board with that.
That would be nuts. That would be absolutely nuts.
Wow, what a crazy answer. That came out of left field, man. That's awesome. Yeah. Oh, yes.
Yeah, I was, when I was watching that, I was like, oh my God, he would be such a great foil for Art, because they're just, they're totally silent, both of them. They're both nuts. It's just, the fight scenes would be insane.
Well, that just completely changed my focus, because I was thinking something completely different, but that would be cool. They could make some cool fan fiction out of that, man. Like, maybe somebody could make like a little animated thing. That'd be awesome, man. If I had the skills to do like weird animated stuff like that, I would have like a library of like little fan things that I made to show people, like, look at this, dude, check this out.
It's just fun. It's just that kind of, that kind of stuff. I was like, I'd like to mix them in with like some more like the modern horror stuff that's going on, like The Babysitter or something like that. It's just like,
okay. I was thinking Freddy Krueger, because I feel like they would battle well.
Oh yeah.
I'm a Freddy Krueger fan, so I'm kind of a stan. I'm like, I love Freddy.
Psycho Gorman would be a fun one to.
Let's go. That movie is amazing, man.
It's so good.
It's so
like the
good.
little girl in that was amazing. I absolutely loved her.
I have a Hunky Boys edition Blu-ray.
Oh yeah.
What are we talking about? It's so good. Yeah, Psycho Gorman versus Art, or even like a Psycho Gorman with Art the Clown.
Yeah.
Because like, I don't even know if I want to see a head-to-head more so than like a team up, like a. What other modern characters have come out that are like really good, that are modern? Because Psycho Gorman's way up there, man. He's really a good character. And I would say Art's way up there.
Well, I thought one that is just the movie itself, what they did to it in the editing process, which killed it, was like the premise behind it all. Because I know a lot of the story behind it was the Bye-Bye Man. I like the concept of that character is frightening as anything. And it's like, especially Doug Jones playing him, it was just like they butchered the hell out of that movie. Because Jenna, that was in Terrifier, that played Tara, she was in that as well. And so
she was.
Yeah, she played the psychic in it.
That's right, dude. I forgot all about that.
She said a lot of stuff that really fleshed the character out and stuff like that.
Maybe I need to rewatch that one, because I hated that movie.
Well, so it was because they butchered the hell out of it. It was originally shot to be a rated R movie, and they trimmed it down to be a PG-13 movie because they wanted to put more butts in seats.
It doesn't even work.
It was because all the stuff that did work, they cut, because it's all the rated R stuff.
Yeah.
Like all the kills and stuff like that, and it explained the character more. It's just it's a great premise. I was like,
a rated R
wasted.
Rated R horror movies always do better. Like, kids want to go see rated R. They will get tickets to get there. Like, especially now, you're buying your ticket online. No kids asking their parents permission.
No.
Look, I mean, unfortunately, but whatever. Like, they're not though. So,
but their parents or their older siblings would take them.
Well, I mean, I went to Deadpool and I sat next to a 7-year-old. So, like,
I sat next to a 4-year-old during Saw 4 one time.
That's crazy. Dude, Saw movies are awesome, but they take kids to the craziest stuff now. Whatever. It's their prerogative. It's not
but that's. I mean, I've had like 3-year-old girls come up to me at conventions that were huge fans, and their parents like, oh yeah, she's seen the film so many times. Like, wow, really?
I mean, I'm not going to judge anybody, but that's shocking.
I was like, really? It's like, yeah, she loves it. That's what I've been amazed with, is like kids, especially little girls. Little girls love Art the Clown. They're not scared. It's funny, like little boys, when they see me, they kind of get scared, but little girls want to come up and give me a hug and stuff. Like, it's so funny.
Dude, girls are tougher than boys. I have I got my chest tattooed when I was like 19 or 20. I can't remember what age, young. And it hurt so bad that I've had an outline, just no color for 20 years. And like about, I don't know, 6 months later, I was talking to my friend Corey, and his wife was getting her chest tattooed. She sat there and got 6.5 hours of tattooing done. No problem. And on her chest. And I was just like, man, I'm such a wimp. Like
they're more conditioned for pain, I guess, especially for childbirth.
Yeah, women are built different. Men can build bridges physically and build buildings and do cement work and chop trees down. Ladies,
we can be the biggest babies. We can be the biggest babies when it comes to getting a boo-boo or other thing. It's just like, we get a little bit sick. We're like,
yeah, it's exactly what I was gonna say. Whenever I'm sick, I'm the worst, man. My wife's probably like, oh God, hurry up and get over this. I'm like, I don't feel good. I got a fever. She's like, yeah, I had a fever yesterday. I still worked 10 hours. I'm like, oh, sorry, I didn't know that. Like,
I worked and then I took care of the kids and I did this and this.
Right.
And this.
Like, now I'm bringing your
I remember my mom always saying, like, I don't have the luxury of being sick.
My mom said the same thing. Yeah, single moms, man. God bless them.
Yeah.
But dude, I can't believe that you said Willy's Wonderland guy. You got me in a whole different. That completely messed me up in a good way. Like I'm sitting here trying to figure out. I would like to see like I wouldn't mind to see crossover events with like I want to see some Lovecraftian crossover stuff. Like not necessarily Arthur Clown, just like
that's
the thing.
Funny you said that because like I was when I was in Chicago, Mark Dodson, who was voice of like Salacious Crumb and some of the Gremlins and stuff like that.
Okay.
He's like, we're talking at one of the parties. He's like, oh my God, Dave, you could totally play Lovecraft.
Wait, like the guy Lovecraft?
Yeah, H.P. Lovecraft.
Oh,
like, you should totally play H.P. Lovecraft in something. I'm like,
that would be. God. I mean, I'm a huge Lovecraftian horror fan. Like, and it's just been something I've realized over the past like 2 years. 5 years ago, I wouldn't have really understood what you were asking if you'd asked if I was a big Lovecraft fan. But I've come to realize that that's something I really like. Color Out of Space, The Void. Like, I want cosmic weird shit, like slashers or cosmic weird shit. I'd love to see something like The Thing and Color Out of Space have an amalgamation of those stories or those universes cross over. God. That'd be so crazy.
Oh my gosh, yeah, that would be fun. It's like, I'm actually surprised they haven't done a lot more Lovecraftian things recently because there's a lot of stuff to pull from there.
There's a lot of stuff that comes out low key that's not very good, unfortunately. It comes out like VOD stuff, and it's like, I'm watching this one. Well, I think I accidentally bought like a softcore porn that was advertised as a horror movie because I was telling my wife, I was like, man, I was watching this movie and I was sitting on the chair and I was basically falling asleep because it was really late. And then I heard this noise, a lady's noise, and I kind of sat up and there was this naked lady on the screen and I was like, huh, that's really early in the movie to have a naked person. And I was like, whatever. And like 5 minutes later, another naked person. So I'm like, pick up the thing. I'm looking at it and I'm like, what the hell did I buy? I haven't finished the movie yet, but I'm pretty sure I thought I was buying this, but I was buying this. But
it happens.
Oh, dude, I think it's kind of funny actually. But so when you're at these conventions, who are you running into, man? You're meeting a bunch of cool people, I imagine, huh? Like cool people that do other actors and things, huh?
Oh God, yeah. I mean, it's like, especially this past weekend. I mean, Damon Maffei's there, so he's become one of my good buddies at these.
Nice.
And stuff like that, from like Haunt and Strangers to Pray at Night, and Man, Time's Up is coming out.
Haunt is awesome.
I love that movie.
Yeah, I was like,
movie. I really love that. That's a movie I think that should be getting a lot more recognition than it does because, it's like there were other haunted house movies that came out around that time, like Hellfest and everything, but like.
Oh, this is way better than Hellfest.
Oh, way better, and it's because this actually feels like a real haunt that you go to.
Yeah, no, it feels like you can walk up to it on the side of the road out here in Houston.
Yeah, this could totally happen. This could totally happen.
Do you remember? Was that 2019 when that came out, or 2020? 2019, I think.
I think 2019.
I think that's when it was. There was another movie that came out the same year, different subgenre, but it was called Crawl.
Okay.
And it was about this girl that goes to her dad's house. I think in Louisiana during a flood to help him get out of his house, and they get stuck in their house, and I think it's either gators or crocs, I can't remember which, invade the house and they're trying to get out of there. But that's how I heard about Haunt though, is I was doing lists. I was looking for I was looking up horror movies with creature features, and I came across a top movies of the year list, and it was like Crawl and Haunt were like and I'd never even heard of them, and I was like, what?
Yeah.
And so I went and I think I watched Crawl first, and I liked it okay, and then I was like, why didn't I watch Haunt first? That's more of my speed. I picked it up and watched it, and immediately I was like, holy shit, this is a good movie. Like, it's surprisingly good.
Yeah. It's just another low budget independent film too.
Belfast was good. I don't want to crap on that movie. It was a good movie, but it wasn't. Haunt was like a really good one.
It was on a different level. That's the thing. It's just like it felt like a real haunt that you would go to. It seemed plausible, and that's what made it scarier to me. It didn't have that fantastical element to it, and like I found the villains to be so much more intriguing.
Well, they were so scary. They were ruthless. That's what they were. They were ruthless. Did you ever see there's one called The Barn? It's like a low budget throwback flick, and it's like these kids go to this barn. Man, I'll send you a link
heard of
to it. You should watch this one, man, because here's the thing. When I watched it, I've watched it like 4 times now, but the first time I watched it, I didn't get it. Like, kind of like how Terrifier, I just didn't get it.
Yeah.
I think I need to be more engaged with my first viewing of some of these films, because sometimes I watch something and then like a year later, I'm like, how did I not love that movie? I've seen it twice at this point, and I love it now.
Yeah.
Because with The Barn, it was just, I don't even think I finished it. And but what you understand, it's supposed to be aesthetically what it is. Like, it's low budget, and it's supposed to be that way. I felt like it had the same magic that Terrifier and Haunt and The Barn. They all had this like similar magic to them, man. I think you should give that one a try if you have the time. I don't know if it's streaming anywhere, but that's a good one, man. I got you ever heard of Horror Pack?
No.
Horror Pack's like God, I wish these people would just sponsor my channel. I mean, I talk about it all the time. Well, man, dude, I've been buying their stuff for 2 years monthly. It's a blind box. You get like 4 Blu-rays.
Oh, okay.
It's cool, man. But I got The Barn. That's how I actually discovered I liked it. Was I got it in a box one month, and I was like, all right, I'll rewatch this thing. And that's what I was like, wait, what was I missing? So I feel like maybe I was just distracted the first time or something, man.
Yeah, that would probably do it.
Do you read much these days? How's it?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I do a lot of reading, but I'm more into like fantasy and stuff like that. Okay. So like especially once I get hooked on a series, I just love it, and I
hate when they end.
Yeah, especially when you love the characters.
Yeah.
Well, I've been reading this book series for like 12 years now. It's the R.A. Salvatore Drizzt the Dark Elves. Yes.
Let's go! Yes. I was just fixed to ask you about that. When you said fantasy, I was going to ask you about Drizzt Do'Urden. Dude,
I love those books. I just finished the
so
recent
happy.
one.
You just made me so, bro. I literally was waiting for you to finish.
No one knows about these books.
Dude, my wife likes them. I like them, but the fact
that they're so good.
I cannot believe that's what you just said. That blew my mind, because I was legitimately going to ask you about that same series.
It's dude, so good. Have you read the latest one?
No, I'm so far behind. Okay. I just started over like about 2 months ago on audiobook, because I can do that a little faster.
Gotcha.
And I started with is it the Dark Elf or the Icewind Dale is first? I think it's Dark Elf.
Dark Elf, because it shows
whichever
time
was
in
first,
Minta Baron.
I started with those again, and I'm waiting to get to Icewind Dale, because Icewind Dale is my current favorite, because that's the one I read that's actually the first ones I read. I just found them and read them and was like, what is this? Amazing. And so,
oh my God.
Oh, the Icewind Dale trilogy. Yo, I'm so psyched that you like that. That's awesome.
Oh, it's like those that haven't read them, there's like over 30 books in the series now. And it's just like these characters have gone on such a journey. I mean, they've died, come back from the dead. And it'll be like several books later that a character comes back from the dead. And so you're just like, oh my God.
And it's always in like some magnificent way. Like, if anybody's watching this, if you're a fan of high fantasy stuff, and let's be honest, if you're a fan of horror, you probably are. At least to some extent, go check these books out, man, because the main character is like a dark-skinned elf with white hair, and he has this,
especially if you play like Dungeons and Dragons.
Yes, it's set in the same universe. World. Yeah. Oh, I forgot. It's Forgotten Realms is D&D, huh? Yeah, he's got this like panther things. Like, it feels
Guinevere.
Like Guinevere. It's like a thing he carries in a pouch. It's like a sculpture of a panther that can turn into. Oh, dude. I'm a dork about this
so
stuff.
Good. I mean, you got your elves, you got your your barbarian, you got your dwarf, you got just like
the little guy with the broke off helmet.
Brunner Battlehammer.
Brunner, that's his name.
Yeah,
dude. Oh man, I'm so psyched that you like that. Yeah.
Oh, love them.
I didn't know there was 30 books. I'll be honest, I didn't know there was that many.
Oh my god, yeah. It's just like because I've read all the books now.
That's probably my favorite series of books. Period. Besides maybe that and Jack Reacher books are pretty entertaining, but like they're not as there's a difference. I like them probably as much, but they're not as good.
I like that one. Of course, a few years ago, I read the whole entire Wheel of Time series, which has now become an Amazon series.
Yeah,
which is great. It's like 15 books. Oh, well, such a good series.
She's a fantasy gal, and that's where we really overlap. Like her science fiction, my horror, we overlap at fantasy. So we've been doing the Wheel of Time, and
I would say also the Stormlight Archives is a really good series. That one I don't know. I haven't read the latest one yet, but they're really good books too.
And so you read physical books?
Yeah. Oh, I get them on Kindle.
Okay, nice. Because
I just don't have shelf space.
Yeah, it's a lot of books, man. It's a lot of books.
Yeah, but it was like I have that huge library of stuff. I fly through them so much. I was like, there's also another one, the Kingslayer Chronicles were really good as well.
I think I've heard of that one.
Yeah, they're all fantasy too, but they're all so good. It's like the characters are the lore and the characters are rich.
It's hard to beat.
Oh, it's just so good.
Well, because in a fantasy book you can kind of do whatever you want, so it's hard to beat one of those. Like go back and read Harry Potter books. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
How could a kid not like that? Like,
yeah,
like go back and read Lord of the Rings. How could you not enjoy that book? Like how could you? The first so when I was a little kid, do you know who Piers Anthony is?
That name sounds familiar.
He had a book called A Spell for Chameleon, and so it was a land, like how the dark elves are called the Drizzt books. Drizzt book. How do you say it? Drizzt. Drizzt's how I say it. There was one called Xanth novels, Xanth, Xanth novels, and I found one as like a little kid, dude, like junior high, and I bought it. It was called A Spell for Chameleon, and it was very similar to the R.A. Salvatore books, except it was a little less mature, and so I read it. And then I read one called like A Source of Magic, and he had like 3 or 4 that I read very quickly at a young age. And then all of a sudden he started adding like mechanical science fiction type stuff to his books, and it really just in a span of like 3 books, it went from high fantasy to like high fantasy / science fiction to full on science fiction. It really hurt me, man. It made me sad because they were really well written in the high fantasy, and that's how I discovered these Drizzt books, because I went to the bookstore and I was like, hey man, I have these 8 books. These first 3, amazing. These other ones, terrible. Same author though. What do I do here? And I was little, and the guy's like, yo, here, read this. And he just walks over, grabs it, hands it to me. I was hooked, man. Hooked.
Oh, they're so good. I also it's a good place for kids to get started, and I even read them because I'm like, these are good books. It's the Rick Riordan, Percy Jackson books.
Oh, Percy Jackson's good stuff too.
Oh, they're great. His whole universe, because he's also done a book series about Egyptian gods, and another series with the Norse gods, and they're all in the same universe, so they cross over with each other. So he's built his own mythological universe, and it's a great way for to introduce children, especially to mythology, because he brings in all those mythological legends and stories and everything into it. I love mythology. So have you heard of Max Ride? It's I have not. I can't remember if it's Robert Pattinson. I think it's Robert Pattinson. Not Robert Pattinson. That's an actor, isn't it? I'm getting my names mixed up. No, I'm getting my names mixed up. Whatever. It's Robert Jordan. No, it's a guy that writes like crime novels. He writes this like weird kids fantasy stuff. But my son he's turning 9 in a couple of months, and he's high functioning autistic with a really high IQ, and he just learned that he really enjoys reading. And dude, he's already reading like high school level stuff at 9 years old, or not even 9. That's great. 8 and a half. So I'm gonna get him the Percy Jackson books, because you mentioned that, and I wish I'd thought about that. He's gonna love that stuff, man. Oh, they're great. I've loved them. It's so, because it's supposed to be just young adult reading. I'm like, oh, this is good. Hey, it's a good book's a good book, man. I still watch Monsters Inc. and Shrek. Those are meant for kids. Those are great movies. Yeah. As long as you got that's all I care about. I want a good story. I want good characters and good story, and I am good. I mean, I always say like my personal heaven would be just to have an endless library one day of just stories. I love, that's why I love video games so much, because it's storytelling.
Yeah, I like to watch video games
story
better than play them because I'm so bad at them. But I do appreciate the storytelling because
Yeah.
they're big stories, man. They're big, deep,
Yeah.
intricate stories.
Oh, yeah.
I bought a book on Audible the other day. It turns out it's like a tween or young adult book. And it's called My Best Friend's Exorcism. So to me, it didn't sound like that. So I just was like, oh, it's got a lot of high ratings. I just bought it sight unseen, and I was like, boop, and I hit play. About 5 chapters in, I'm like, what are they talking about? I'm like, this sounds like high school kid stuff. And so I went back and was like, oh shit, it is. But I'm already like almost done with it. It's a great book. It's really good.
Yeah. That's how it goes. It's just like, I don't care if it's for younger.
I was just surprised more than anything. I was like, what am I listening to? It's really got me going. I'm like super drawn in.
Oh, it's awesome. Of course, I also love Neil Gaiman. He's such a great author.
So I'll be honest. I'm like coin flip on Neil Gaiman. Like I'll read some stuff by him, and I'm like, I don't care about this at all. But then I'll read something by him that I'm completely captivated.
Yeah, like American Gods and Anansi Boys and Good Omens. They were just
my wife. I hated Good Omens, man. She loves that book. I need to reread it. I might have been in a bad headspace because back when I read it, we were like this is like pre-Hurricane Harvey when I read that book. And that's how I could benchmark things. Like, was it before Harvey? Because I was in a different I was in a different space before that, man. My head was in a different spot. Like I'm a much more zen person these days. I used to be a lot more high strung then, and
also that was Terry Pratchett, so it had that very British sense of humor to it all, and that's something a lot of people here in the United States don't get, a lot of the British humor. And
I don't really appreciate that much.
I love British humor. I love it, like Douglas Adams, all that kind of stuff as well. The Hitchhiker's Guide. I just love that silly, but it's silly but smart at the same time.
As I get older, I get a little more, I don't know what to call it, British, I guess. I mean, I understand it more now. When I was in my 20s, I hated that stuff.
Oh yeah, I remember like way back in the day, I like when they would show them on like PBS, they would show like, Are You Being Served and stuff like that. And at first I didn't get it. I didn't see what was so funny. But when I got older, I'm like, oh my God, this is brilliant. This is a really funny comedy. I'm like,
I used to hate
because it's more
Python.
verbal. Oh yeah. Yeah. That's the thing. British comedy is a lot more verbal. It's all about, the double speak and, a lot of dark humor in there as well. It's very dry in a lot of ways.
There's a lot of like, I guess for lack of a better word, sacrilegious, but it's not like death metal sacrilegious. It's sacrilegious in the fact that they're poking fun at stuff that maybe you shouldn't poke fun at if you have certain beliefs. It's real tongue in cheek. The older I get, the more I'm turning 40, and I'm more appreciative of it now than I was halfway back.
Oh, me too.
So you read a lot. Are you ever contemplating writing anything?
Oh, I'm not a writer. I am just like that's just I like, because I'm just books or like scripts as well. People are always like, oh, you should write a script. I'm like, no, that's just not how my brain works. I'm not able to. I'm more in the moment type of person when it comes to that kind of stuff, creating things. I'm not good at just putting pen to paper and writing out a saying or something like that. I'm great at like collaborating with other people and stuff like that on ideas, but like myself, I'm like, I've always been amazed with authors, especially people like Tolkien, who create a whole entire universe, like language, everything. Songs and poems and everything inside of that work, and it's like a whole history. It's like, oh my God,
gnarly, isn't it?
It's amazing. Like those to me, like writers like that are gods, because they have created a fully realized conceptual world.
It's pretty much what I was thinking when you were describing that. I was thinking like that's kind of like creator like
Well,
I mean, kudos to you for recognizing that's not your forte, man. So some people would go, I'm going to write this, and then they would do something. They would put a lot of work and effort into it, and then when they didn't get the response that they thought they were going to get, it might be like a soul crushing experience, and you don't want anybody going through that kind of.
Oh yeah, I wish I had that kind of mind to write like that. It's just like I that's just not how my mind works, unfortunately. I'm so much more a fly by the seat of my pants type of person when it comes to
I have the ability to write. I feel like I'm a decent writer. My vocabulary is not big enough, but I can come up with stuff. And that's kind of what I do. I keep my plate so full because if I don't, I get bored. If I get bored, I do dumb things. So I've written some stuff. It's not easy. I wouldn't tell anybody.
Especially comedy. It's just like that's really hard to write. Is comedy.
Yeah, especially with the time we're in now. I mean, you got to watch everything.
Oof.
I think I was writing more of a, I don't know what to call it, man, punk rock story. And I had written quite a bit. And my dog messed up this is back in 2002. Jacked my computer up and I didn't have nothing backed up. And oh man, it was just I had 300 plus pages written and I just haven't ever gone back to it. Yeah,
that's so crushing.
Oh, it was rough. I've attempted to rewrite some things because I have a pretty wild life story, but man, I got enough on my plate.
Yeah, exactly. You know, I got more. I'm like, I'm too lazy for that now. Too.
It's man, being comfortable is nice. COVID has taught me a lot of stuff, man. It's taught me to appreciate being at home, being around my immediate family. It's taught me how to do a lot of stuff, man. My videos, if you look at my first, let's say 3 months of like COVID starts here, my 3 months of videos, and then you look at right now, dude, it's only been 2 years. It's like a completely different video, man. Like, hell, I don't even look the same. Like, it's all different. Like, it's wild. I've got
so much more gray.
Dude, my whole beard. I was looking at pictures of me just the day my son was born, 16 months ago, and my beard was like half this gray. I was like, damn, I came fast. Like, it was just like, wake up one morning like, oh shit, I'm all gray. Oh man, it's rough.
Yeah, I've seen photos of myself right before the pandemic and how I am now. It's like, my God, I really got a lot of gray now. It's just like, wow, I guess the pandemic did that to me.
Right. You know, oh man, we all go through that though, man. It's dude, I'm so happy to be talking to you. I really appreciate you hanging out with me for a little bit, man. It's been a pleasure.
No problem,
so what do you got going on right now? Is there any, I got a couple more questions for you, and I'm sure you got things to do tonight. What have you got going on currently? Is there any other projects that you're working on that we need to know about? And are you going to any like cons that I can tell people about that maybe they'll see this and make sure and go?
Yeah, like I said, I'm still working on stream and stuff like that. But right now, my buddy, speaking of writers, my buddy Marcus is writing the script for Night of the Living Dead 2, which I did a sizzle reel for last summer, where if people saw where I'm as a big, huge, fat zombie.
What?
Yeah, so he's writing the script for that right now, and so hopefully we'll start shooting that later on this year. You know, knock on wood on that. But other than that, you know, I'm just waiting for my agents to get on the ball and send me out for more stuff. But I am doing a lot of conventions. I'm like I said, I just got back from Mad Monster, but I'm going to be going to my first Horror Hound next month in Cincinnati. Then doing Astronomicon after that. I'm doing so many conventions this year, at least 10.
Are you coming to Texas at all that you know of?
Not that I know of yet, but I'm like, you know, we're still trying to get me back there at Texas Frightmare again. If not this year, next year, you know, because I mean, I was just there last year, but I'm like, we'd love to go back. That's a great
last
convention.
year I wasn't able to go to Frightmare, which was a big blow, man. I didn't know you were going. When I found out, I was legitimately depressed. I was like, dude, I would have made it happen had I realized that. I didn't look at the guest list very well, man. I had a lot of stuff going on.
I'll be back. Dude,
I can't wait. I can't wait. When you're down
here, it's a great con. It's a great con.
Frightmare's
it's
awesome.
Just like, and I mean, it was only at half capacity, and I did better at that convention than I've done at any other convention I've ever been at. And I was like, that was only half capacity? Holy crap.
So I guess it might be a personal question. How do you do it though? You do okay, huh? Maybe it's a decent salary?
Yeah. I don't complain about it. Yeah, it's just like, I mean, because I don't even charge a whole lot. I don't charge what a lot of people charge. So I only charge.
Man, I'll be honest, that's appreciated from a fan's point of view. I understand you got to make your money. I get that. But man, I've gone to some, and I was like, I don't want to say names. I would never do that. But I've been to some where I was like, man, like you're doing lesser movies than so and so over here, and so has got like, I don't know, $35 signatures, 50 with a couple signatures in a selfie. And I'm like, and you're charging $60 for a signature, and you don't even want to like talk to nobody. Like,
oh, I know,
right, it's weird, crazy, man. And I don't again, everybody got to do their own thing. I don't really know the reasons for it. I don't want to judge, but it does put you in a weird spot as a fan. So
it's I mean, unfortunately, we're probably gonna have to up mine up to like 40, but because of inflation and stuff like that. And plus, like once part 2, I'm waiting. I told my manager, let's wait till part 2 comes out.
You have no reason to apologize for that, man.
I try to be as affordable for everybody. Because,
that's awesome.
I know what it was like being a fan myself for years.
Yeah.
So it's just like I don't want people going broke just to get my autograph, because it's like you have these people that most people don't have tons and tons and tons and tons of money to spend at these things. So they have to budget themselves when they come to these. Say, okay, who can I go to and see and stuff like that. And I've had some people that just come up to me and like, I'm sorry, I'm out of money now, but I just want to come by and say hi. And I'm like, that's fine. Come by and say hi. I'm totally happy with that.
Right. Yeah, I've met a lot of great people at cons, man. It's a wild people that don't go to those. They'll never understand it, man. It's like even when you see people once a year, you feel like you're related to them almost. Like you're like, oh, what's up, George? How you been for the last year? It's like you never stop talking, even though you haven't really talked for a whole year. That's cool, isn't it?
True. It's so true. It's just like that, really, with the horror conventions as opposed to just the generic conventions.
I'll be honest. I think I've been a part of a lot of communities, and I still like sort of keep up with comic book stuff, but like, let's say pop culture, horror, and like vinyl, and like punk rock, right?
Yeah.
The horror community, I think, is probably the most welcoming and the most easy to get along with. I don't really understand why, because it seems like a lot of the same people overlap in other ones.
Yeah.
But even though they do, you go to let's just use the comic book community as that's something I'm really familiar with. It feels, I think it's because the horror cons, a much smaller amount of the people there are there for buy, sell. They're there for buy, keep.
Yeah.
So they're there just to hang out and have a good time. Whereas if you go to like a punk rock convention, maybe not even that, but like a vinyl convention or a comic book convention, a large percentage of the people are there to buy and make profit, which there's nothing wrong with that. So they're not necessarily there to be friendly. They're there for business stuff. And so it's just got a different, like you walk in the door and it feels different. You walk into one, with, like, let's say, the local one down here in Houston, we have every quarter. Like it's a little small thing. Boom, you walk in, it just feels like a gathering.
Yeah. I love that. I love it. Cause I've noticed that because like, I've gone to some just the regular like Comic-Con conventions and stuff like that, like fan conventions, where it's a whole mishmash of everybody, and it's just, it doesn't have the same feeling to it in a weird way. It's just like even among the different celebrity guests there's not the camaraderie that you usually see between the celebrity guests at the horror conventions, because like we're all at the same convention, so we see each other all the time at them. And
I was just gonna
a lot of times we've worked together too on because a lot of horror actors work on different, not just that one film.
That's another thing about horror that I love. Look at somebody like Barbara Crampton. How long has she been making awesome movies? Even the last ones that I've watched, I think I've watched 4 of her most recent movies. I think there was one that I didn't genuinely like, that I was like, I could take it or leave it. But the other ones, I really liked them enough to buy them. I mean, you like a movie.
Felissa Rose is
dude, Felissa Rose is awesome.
And I think she's like she's like the Kevin Bacon of horror films.
She's like the one that I can't get to have any free time, man. We've been talking for like 18 months trying to get her on.
She is
so busy, man. But it is what it is. She's
so great. She's cool.
Super sweet. I've met her a bunch of times. She's real cool.
Bill Moseley is just great.
That's the guy I'm trying to get a hold of, man. Man, that's like a childhood dream type of person.
He's a great dude to talk to.
He's super cool, man.
Very knowledgeable guy. He's such a smart guy.
Is he super sweet when in person?
Oh yeah, very sweet, very chill and laid back.
Crazy people, man.
I know. That's what I love about him.
You though. I mean, you're nothing. I mean, you're like the polar opposite of what character you play.
But that's the case with so many of us that play these horrible characters. We're usually big teddy bears and geeks in real life. You're just like CJ Graham, huge mountain of a man, but he's just the biggest sweetheart. He's just the nicest dude.
The biggest guys are always the nicest, and so the scariest, man. People always find it funny that I'm so personable. I'm like, no, man, it's just a tattoo. Like I love, I like them, so I got them, and I also like talking to people, so I'm easy to talk to. That's cool, man. At the conventions, do you ever get to do the panels?
Oh yeah. I love doing those.
I was going to ask if you enjoyed it.
Oh yeah, that was another thing I wanted to do one day back when I used to go to conventions. I always wanted to be on that side of the table. I want to be on the panels and stuff like that.
Dude, you're checking off things on the bucket list, homie.
Yeah, I'm not complaining. I'm just
That's
saying
awesome.
This is great.
That's awesome. Have you had anybody ask you something super memorable? Do you have a particular thing where you're like, oh my God? Because I know some people have had wild ass questions.
Gosh, I'm trying to remember. I'll probably think of something later on.
Right, when we're not talking. Yeah, that's how. That's how my brain operates. I was just wondering, something popped up because sometimes, you know, you have a memory that's just specifically from something at an event. I was wondering if maybe one.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember exactly what the question was, but like the host for it, like we ended up getting deep into like emotional like life stuff, and I was like, ooh,
that's why those are great.
Serious. Wow, this is like Oprah happening up here.
Let's go. Man, everybody's like, oh, Oprah, huh? Where's my car? You get a car. You get a car. And it's a Hot Wheel. They're like, damn.
Yeah, it's like, well, at least you don't have to pay the taxes on it.
Dude, we got to make an Artmobile.
Yeah.
Let's go. What kind of, okay, that's a good question, man. If Art had his own car, what kind of car would it be?
I think like something like an ice cream truck or something like that. Something.
My initial thought was something like that, and then I just thought, no, man, mid '80s Buick with like kind of beat up, but black painted black, but kind of beat up to where it was kind of inconspicuous. It might pull up and you wouldn't realize it was somebody. It just would be kind of. It would just be the car that you drove by and you wouldn't be able to tell the difference what it looked like. You're like,
most likely it would be something like that, because even like in All Hallows Eve, you know, he's driving just a regular car at one point. And it's just like I think that's how he would roll. He
like probably 1986 Buick Regal.
Yeah, he would just get whatever he can get his hands on. That's how Art is. He's
whatever the people he murdered were driving.
Yeah, he just adapts to whatever he finds around him. Awesome. He's like, okay, I'm using this now. It's just, that's what I like about it. He's very
like,
MacGyver.
You're driving a tricycle. All right.
Yeah. It's like, okay.
Dude, driving a big wheel.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Those
things I used to love those as a kid.
You remember the ones you'd sit on and you had to like move it like this to be able to go like, oh man.
The little, you had to like go back and forth.
Yeah, my son had he had a field day at school not too long ago, like a few months back, and he had never even seen one of those. And one of the events was like, and I was like, this is going to be bad. He couldn't get it to move at all. He was like, I'm like, it's all right, buddy. Just
oh my God.
It's okay to not be great at everything.
Yeah.
You're all right.
We had those in our PE class even, and we would play different games with them. Like soccer.
I did too, actually. I forgot about that. That's probably where I learned about those things.
I love those things. Love those things. I can't even remember what they were called, like Easy Gliders or something like that.
Oh, maybe. Probably something like that. Oh, guess what my dumbass did? I'm having like a full-on midlife crisis, bro. I went and bought a skateboard like 6 months ago.
Oh no!
Why would I do that to myself? I've got bad knees already. Oh man, no. I cruise around a little bit, but I'm not doing anything psycho.
That was like the last time I tried getting on rollerblades, because I used to be so good on rollerblades when I was a teenager. I rollerblading all the time.
Roller skating is so good for you.
Yeah, but man. I guess my whole center of gravity changed and everything. I was like wiping out, and like kids are going by me, and they're doing all the stunts that I used to do.
They're pointing and laughing. Like the kid on the Simpsons, like, ha ha. Like,
yeah, that was me. And I was like, my God, I used to do the skating backwards, do the skating on one thing, the other foot up in the air, all those little tricks and everything like that. And then I was like, yeah. And I was like, my God.
Being from Texas, I never got the option of even attempting ice hockey, but I got to, when I was rollerblading, we figured out, you can play hockey with rollerblades. Yeah, I loved rollerblading for the fact that I could play some field hockey with my buddies. Like we'd get it was like on a tennis court, and you'd get it with it's like a ball, not a puck. It was a lot of fun, man.
We kind of did that days, even when I was in college with my fraternity.
Yeah.
We called it broom ball. We would actually go to the skating rink. We just wouldn't wear skates, but we had a ball and we had a bunch of brooms, and we're playing hockey like that.
Dude, that's awesome.
Running across the ice. I mean, we were so badly.
Oh, it was ice skating rink, and you would put on just shoes. Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Oh my God, we're just slamming it. We weren't wearing helmets or elbow pads or anything. We're just dressed as we were. It's like, oh my God, you could. All of us the next day would just be so bruised, just hobbling around campus. We're like, wow, this is worth it.
I've ice skated a couple of times because we had that skating rink in the Galleria down here. It's a lot of fun, man. It's not easy, but it's fun. It's like a whole different. If you're from the South, like you don't know that experience. It's weird, man. It's unique. It's unique.
Yeah. I like because even like back when I was really good at rollerblading, I tried ice skating. I was nowhere near as good at ice skating as like I would basically have to fall or like collide into the walls to stop myself because I was like, I can't stop on these. And like, oh, just use little spikes in the front of the skate, and I'll do that, and like I used to plant right to the ground.
Very real, I don't know where it comes from, unnecessary fear of, and I thought as soon as you said falling to stop, all I could think of was like falling down and somebody riding over my fingers.
Yep.
Oh, that's so scary.
Oh my God, that was a fear of mine too.
Oh, that's like, so scary.
Oh God. Oh my God.
So are you currently are you back home and on some downtime, or are you traveling? I didn't even think to ask.
Yeah, I'm back home right now. Yeah.
Whenever you're traveling around, do you go out for just the weekend, or are you usually gone for like weeks at a time? How's that work for you?
I usually just go out for the weekend because it's usually the convention is, paying my way and stuff like that.
So hell of a lot less money if you're not staying in a hotel for a week.
Oh yeah. I mean, I might go a day or so earlier though, like when I went down to Spooky Empire. Yeah, like at Orlando, I wanted to go down to the parks one day, so we went a day earlier so we could just go to Universal for a day.
Oh man, if I was traveling like that and I would find out what record stores were in town, I would absolutely have to go a day early and just kind of cruise around the record store, maybe find out like what local eatery is. Do you get to do that at all? Do you find out like what local food is hopping?
Sometimes, yeah. That's one thing like Damon and I usually ask, it's like the locals, there's like what's good to eat, because we like to at least treat ourselves to a nice dinner one night or something, like good steak dinner or something like that. Yeah,
that's the best part of traveling, is to get to taste the local cuisine, man. Like do you have a favorite city yet? Do you have a place where you just love going because it's just an all out great time no matter what?
Got probably Orlando. Orlando's a good one. Yeah. I enjoyed Vegas as well though.
Oh man, Vegas has got to be fun. Vegas has got it's a different, man, Vegas is a different place. I've never been. I've never left Texas. Yeah. But I know enough about it to know that like that's like a different world, man. Like your Vegas is different, and I would love to go
we stayed on Fulton Street too, so I mean we were right there on the old Vegas Strip, so it was just like walk outside and it's like daylight even though it's like 2:00 in the morning because
just so
all the partying going on. And it's like, oh, that was fun. It was
Did you get to see any other cool shows, or you just kind of I guess on a weekend you're kind of bogged down with stuff, obligations and things?
We didn't unfortunately get to go to any shows or anything like that, but like we did a lot of eating and stuff like that, so that was kind of fun, and checked out some of the casinos and everything like that. I came out even, so I discovered
that's a net positive.
For me. Yeah, I'm like I don't like the idea of losing money, so I'm like, okay, I'm done. I'm even. I came out even. I'm not playing anymore. Nope.
I gamble on MMA, and I have a fairly good win percentage, but I had to stop messing with baseball. I don't mess with basketball. I'm like, no, man. Yeah. I know this sport very well. I'll just stick to what I know because, like you said, I don't like to lose money. I got too many responsibilities as a father and husband. That's awesome, man. Do you listen to any music these days?
No, not really.
Not really.
I'm such an old fuddy-duddy. I usually like all the stuff that's coming out now. I think is crap compared to what I grew up with. So.
Oh, I definitely listen to mostly older music at this point. For sure. Since my channel is, I've got two channels. Since the bigger channel is revolved around music mostly. Boy, I tell you, man, I learned a lot about music, man. So I hear a lot of stuff that I would have never heard otherwise.
That's good, though. That's good.
It is good, man. It helps keep me, just informed. And there is some new stuff that I do like quite a bit, but it gets me. I get to talk to really interesting people, and that's ultimately what talking to people is my favorite thing. I like it more than anything else. All my businesses that I do, it's all this.
I'm like really weird also when it comes to music. It's like I know songs, but I don't know who the artists are, and I sometimes don't even know the name of the song, but I know the song and I like the song, and I'm like, oh, and then I'm like, oh, that's such so and so saying that. I'm like, I had no idea.
Everybody that's not into music, quote unquote, is like that though, man, because I've been into music deep most of my life. So but not really necessarily popular music, but some kind of music.
I used to be big into like of course musical theater brat, so I did a lot of Broadway stuff. So that was like my music. I loved that kind of music, or Disney music way back in the day. And
my wife likes that stuff too. A lot of people like that. I didn't know so many people did like that stuff.
It's really funny, as I've discovered that doing karaoke at conventions, like sometimes I'll just bust out like a Disney song.
Oh, you got giant balls, dude. I just know way I can
karaoke. I did like because I was like, yeah, let's see how people respond to this. I was expecting people, and it wasn't just at a con, but like it's just been in like karaoke in the city. And I'm like, they're probably gonna think I'm the biggest geek or something like that. Bust out Be Our Guest or
oh no, people probably love that, huh?
Oh, people like boom, like the whole place came alive. And I was like, everybody singing with me. I'm like, holy shit! It's like you have Wall Street Bros and like
that's awesome.
A bunch of Karens at a table. Everybody just starts singing. It's like it. I think because it taps into everybody's childhood and brings out that nostalgia, and people love it.
Look, I don't even like Disney stuff, but as soon as you said Be Our Guest, it was playing in my head. I know that song.
Yeah, it's funny how that goes. It's just like, I think that's what it is. It just taps into your childhood. It brings that inner kid out for a few seconds there. It's just...
If Damien ever needs funding for anything, I would pay $1,000 to see Art the Clown sing Be Our Guest.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Man.
Definitely. I'd do it. I'd do it in a heartbeat.
That's
no
awesome,
problem.
Man. Well, shit. I so appreciate your time, David. Thank you so much for hanging out. If you
no problem, man.
If you don't mind, man, I'll reach back out when the movie comes out. Maybe we can talk a few minutes and just strictly talk about the film and maybe get.
Oh yeah, there's going to be a lot to talk about.
hopefully by then I'll have another 10,000 subscribers. We can just keep it pushing, man.
That'd be great.
But, thank you so much for hanging out, man. I really do appreciate your time.
Oh, you're welcome, man.
But it was lovely talking to you, and I guess I'll stay in touch, and good luck with everything. If you need anything from me at all, just reach out and let me know, and I'll do what I can.
All right, sounds good, man. Awesome. You take good care.
You as well, David. See you later, bud.
All right, see ya.